100%.
Gentlemen,
Yes,
we
sir.
are back.
Mr. Zikri,
François,
you look very good today,
looking
by the way.
sharp.
May I add?
it's a pleasure. So keep the camera on me the whole
All
time
eyes
today.
on
What,
me.
what happened? What happened?
I have
Honestly,
a platinum and diamond tie clip today.
Well,
What
platinum and
happened?
diamond.
Platinum.
honestly, what happened?
Actual
You
platinum.
pulled a 180-degree turn
Yeah,
Wow.
from Monday.
from Monday.
What happened?
I was abused, so I decided to do something about it. No. I was just, you know what? I was trying to present a case to our Hell Week group. We have a big group this
Oh,
week.
it
No, but
was
for one simple reason. So you see, we saw them on Monday. Then
Yeah.
as of Tuesday, started showing up the nice suit, the nice blazer, match, and this, and the tie clips, and all that stuff. And because I went through the example with them today, and I said, listen, guys, you saw me on Monday, and I spoke to you guys, and I'm speaking to you now. I'm the same person, right? They're like, yeah. I'm like, are you more captivated by what I'm telling you now? They're like, yeah. I'm like, so you see, I'm saying the same thing with the same tone, the same everything, but the way I look, even if you've known me from before and so on,
Yeah.
makes all difference. Appearances matter in every way. So I took it really upon myself. It wasn't my
It's
intention.
because
My
you're-
intention
it's
wasn't
because
that I
you
said
weren't confident.
no,
when
not at
you
all.
were not.
Because I know, Jeff, the thing
dressing
is that
up.
you're saying something that Etienne is completely against, which is no matter what you wear, as long as you're confident, you can still make it happen at whatever level and so on.
Oh,
Which is fine. But you know what? Because on Monday, the particular reason why I was doing this, I was trying to negotiate something down, so I wanted to dress very casual. And so that was the main reason, right? So then I came back dressed normally, let's say for work. But I figured I'll show a point at the same time how just the appearance. Because don't forget,
Yeah.
the way you know me, I'm confident. I'm a confident person. I'm not like, oh well, and that's just not who I am. I feel all of us here in management have the cojones, like we're ready to take grab of whatever we need. But how people see you before you even open your mouth,
Yeah.
they
I
listen more
totally
attentively.
agree with you. I totally agree with you, and we'll even take it to a point of authority. If I'm driving a $200,000 car, okay, and I've got a tracksuit, you know what I mean, and
My Kenneth
and
tracksuits.
a Yankees hat,
Yep.
the odds of me getting pulled over at a corner are a lot higher than if I'm wearing a $2,000 suit
Sure.
that matches the car. It's not
How
because
matches the car.
it's not
The
because
color and
what I'm
everything.
saying is it's not because of the fact that um, you couldn't afford it just because you had the tracksuit. It's because people judge you by the way you look before you even speak. So image that is important in the sense that people will automatically look at you and be like, oh, whatever. If I'm just like a bum and I'm pushing a cart, they'll think I'm a bum. Not because I want to be a bum. Maybe I like carts. You know what I mean? But
He
Maybe
owns
I'll-
the card company. But you know what? I'm gonna add to your point. So that because that's exactly what I was trying to show them. I said because the appearance is going to be the first. We'll get to our subject, but
Yeah.
the appearance itself has a big role to play. But then it's about delivering the package. You understand the full package.
It is a
so
package
you can
deal.
look amazing. You can be in a $12,000 suit,
Right.
But then if you open your mouth and it's garbage, and you don't have the intellect that comes with it, the knowledge, the confidence,
Yeah.
and so on.
Absolutely.
You just talk about, let's say, money.
But you know what it does,
you lost
Gabriel?
it.
Gabriel, you know what it does? It gets you in the door. It gets you to that
Yeah,
conversation.
but after I open the door,
That's fine.
and I'm in,
But the
and I
point is-
start.
Yeah, but the
speaking
point is
garbage,
getting
but,
in.
but
The point is getting
to
in.
getting into the door. You
Yeah,
know how people
that
say,
will help.
all
for
I
sure.
want is the meeting. If I can get the meeting, then the rest is on me. If
Sure.
I can't talk after that. But if from the very beginning I look like trash, I smell, I got no cologne, I didn't take a shower for 4 days, I'm pushing a cart, and I tell the guy, listen, I got a good deal for you. The guy's gonna be, get out of my face. Here's $5. You understand?
Security, security.
It changes the dynamic.
I'm with you. Anyways, so that was a big side note, but we'll get right into our subject. So the subject today, guys, on the growth formula, which I forgot to mention, our nice title, is how to create synergy with your team. Right. So teams, let's say as a broker, team as an entrepreneur, as a business person, how do you create the synergy with your team? When does creating the synergy start with your team? Is it from day one? Is it within a few months? Is it during the interview process, which we were mentioning on the French version? What do you guys think is the right way to approach it?
Big Mike.
There you go.
I think from the time that you get the interview, I think it works with the founders of any business.
Founders or management?
Well,
The
it's the same
founders, the
thing.
management, however you want to call it, because even management, the person who founded everything and put that management in place has to have a culture that he's giving to the management for it to trickle down. So for me, it starts from the very beginning. So if you have a specific culture, a way that you want to do things, this thing needs to transpire from you to everyone through your company from top to bottom if you want everybody to go in the right direction. That way, anybody that adds themselves to that equation will be able to follow through with whatever everybody else said from the very beginning. So if you don't have that, then you're doomed.
Gotcha.
You'll have constant changes. It's not going to work because people won't act the way other people act. They won't know. There's no set culture. There's no set goal. It's super important.
Definitely. Jeff, what's your take on this?
I agree. It's
Okay,
very
great.
Alright.
If you say so.
That's what it is. It comes back. It always comes back to you got to set the goals. You got not set the goals, but you got to set the bar. You got to set the mindset. You got to set the culture, the mission, the vision. Ultimately, everybody needs to understand what's the actual where you're heading, what are you doing, and why you're doing it. Simple as that. Now, if that message is not well communicated, and it seems easy, but it's the biggest challenge. You will have that challenge in the small team. You're a broker. You have a team. You have 1, 2, 3 brokers, and you will notice that your brokers, because when you look at teams, there's a lot of rotation of team members. You're always gonna have that one person.
Huge turnover.
Yeah, there's always not only one person, maybe that second person, but that when you get to that point where you need to grow, you will notice that it's harder because to communicate whatever is that culture, whatever is that mindset, whatever is that vision is extremely hard. The biggest companies, they have the biggest they hire the HR, the communication team. They hire it's millions of dollars that they invest into the culture of the business because it's the hardest thing to implement. Is the hardest thing to not just implement but to continue on the long term. So imagine as a smaller scale it's
and I think
it's hard.
also, just to reiterate what you're saying, I think also that at some point, if somebody does not have the right culture or is not a right fit for your team, you also need to understand when it's time to pull the plug and to terminate that person, because it's just like having a cancer or having something bad within your company
Mhm.
that's going to trickle down and change everything that you have, especially if that is a person of influence. So you got to be very careful with the people that you have that are surrounding you, the people that are building your team, to understand what's happening. You understand? So for me, super important company culture, top to bottom. If you don't have it, you're losing everything.
We had 2 people that just left with a shelf behind us. So Mike completely froze. I'm so happy we have this
I
on
thought we were
record.
getting robbed for a minute.
2 small kids just walked away with a shelf. Everyday stuff. It's all good.
That
good.
was priceless.
We'll take a time just to run after them. We'll show you our quick video. So the Bella Group is in the residential, commercial, new construction. All right, Michael, it's okay. As well as new construction. So we'll talk about new construction. We'll show you our Crown project, which is currently in phase. All right, so we're back. The crazy laughter is done. It was a good one. We had a question that came in from Michelle. So we were talking about the basically people joining your team or even when it's time to pull the plug. But if we go even Before that, we go to the basics, the fundamentals. We're talking about the interview process.
Yep.
So Michelle is asking basically, what can make or break a first interview, in your opinion?
Attitude.
Attitude. In what way?
Well, first and foremost, if you're looking at it from an employer point of view, you want to make sure that that person has the right body language and the attitude when they present themselves.
Oh yes.
You know, being on time, being punctual, being ahead of time, I think is very important.
Sure.
And make me understand exactly what are your set goals and what is it that you want to do and why is it that you have any interest to join my company to start with. I think that's important. I also need to understand what are your goals. Where do you see yourself 3 to 5 years from now? Are you still going to be with me, or am I just a stepping stone to
Well,
something
I can
else?
answer that one. It's a no. The odds are
So they're
that
gonna be
is no
with
matter
you.
what, even you have the best culture in the world,
Right?
that person will not this person will probably not stay around.
Probably. If you're going through probabilities,
Yes.
true. But where I would disagree is to say that depending on what company you have and what it is that you do, and if you know how competitive you are
Mhm.
to everybody else with the set skills that that person is giving you, then you know what the competition is. And if that person really has what it takes, and you really think and value that person, then you may have to fight for it.
You will fight.
And it
You
doesn't mean you
will
can't win
fight.
either.
Now you won't always win. And
No, you
actually
won't. You might not win every battle, but
You-
I'm saying like it all. I think it always reiterates the fact that depending on the situation that you find yourself in, because like, look, we'll take Julianne for instance, right? So you're here as an intern, right? And at the end of your term, you're going to be saying, well, you know what? I'm going to look at my position and what I'm going to do and what I'm not going to do. Correct? Now, you're going to make your judgment depending on what it is that you want to do for your future, right? Now, if we were to come and make you an offer that would be substantially equal to whatever it is that somebody else is offering you, giving you the possibilities to reach the goals that you want to reach, would you not consider it?
No, I would definitely consider it. But
That-
also, yeah, it's like the attachment on the environment too.
Exactly. So these things, I think, come into play no matter who it is to understanding the person that you're bringing in,
yes.
what they want to do for their future, and if whether or not what they're doing is in relations to what you want to do.
Yeah.
And if we're able to get that at the interview, then our chances are very strong to be able to retain them because we understand the people that we bring in. The problem with a lot of companies today is they're taking whatever to use as a band-aid,
Yeah.
to fill in the holes and like, oh, well, that's going to die at some point. And when that band-aid fails, well, let's find another band-aid. So we go from band-aid to band-aid.
So I agree, but at the same time I disagree.
Okay.
Because the reality of the market is that it is hard for every companies and every industries to find those people that will adhere to your culture or to your mindset or to that philosophy. But at the same time, you still have to operate your business. Your business still has to go to move forward. So by waiting or trying to get that person that actually fits 100% that culture of your company, you might wait for a while. So
Right.
during that
I don't
time,
believe in waiting for perfection.
So during that time, what's going to happen is whatever project you have into
Yeah.
growing your business won't grow because you're like, oh, well, we kind of jeopardize and I'm going to kind of put more pressure on my team and it's not going to work. So
Jeff,
I do believe
I 100%
I do
agree with
believe
you.
that you should always, and you said it earlier, I think any company should always work in parallel. I tell Etienne all the time, you have to work in parallel where you might see that person that, has maybe that potential, maybe has something, but you never stop looking. You never stop doing that work of maybe you're gonna keep finding. So, and that's the challenge that's the problem of a lot of either teams or companies, is that what they do is that when they find that person, they put all their chip into that person. Now, it's nothing wrong to that, but the odds are
It's a
that
problem.
it is a problem because that person you don't know. Even though that person, in the interview, you're gonna say, you know what, that person seems amazing. That person, the philosophy, the vision of that person, but you don't know how that person works within
No.
the team. You don't know how even the person they think that they will fit into the culture, but once they are actually inside and then they're trying to and they figure out ultimately what they want, maybe that person is gonna, and it's not because that person doesn't have skill. It's just because that person say, well, you know what, I feel that I might bring my skills to. I mean, I'm trying to have a more positive approach.
Right.
So that person might say, you know what, I might not be the exact person that you guys are looking for.
Right.
So then you just
But Jeff,
put an effort in that person for 3,
Jeff,
6 a
at
year.
the same time, what I want to ask you is,
Yeah.
is that we agree to that. I agree with you
Yes.
100%.
Yeah.
The thing is that every company is going to give a person a trial because at the
Yes.
end of the day, you know, when you do the interview, whether you're the first, second, or third, that person could still be fake. That person could still
100%.
manipulate you to try to get into the position.
Yeah.
Now, when they get into that position, you have that trial period, which is, I don't know, 60 to 90 days. Sometimes within 2 weeks, you see that they were faked all along,
Yes.
or they're not able to keep up with the pace. Sometimes it's not because they're bad people. It's just that they're not the right fit. That's
Yeah.
fine. What I'm saying is that if we're talking about perfection here, and I didn't want to look to perfection as being a thing, but I'm saying is that sometimes when you fill in a position, and we talked about this earlier, you have stars that emerge from those positions.
Right.
Just like when you look at a hockey team, a basketball team, or whatever, you have certain stars sometimes that show up as like, oh, this guy, this person has more talent than anyone else.
Mhm.
That's what I was referring to.
Right.
When you see somebody has more talent than everyone else, that person you need to reconsider, because you cannot look at them as a pond as everyone else that you did, because that person is a rising star.
Yes.
So you need to look at that with a different angle
I
to
agree.
say, okay, well, listen, you know what? I'm looking at you right now. You finish your stage or you finish your thing. I'm not necessarily meaning you, but just as an example. And then you say, well, listen, if we let this person go, like this person has a lot of growth. There's a lot of opportunities that we might be missing out on by letting this person go.
Yeah.
So how can we keep this person integrated and make them feel like they're growing with the company to the heights that we want to reach?
Yes.
It's just like anybody that goes to a farm team and gets like a recruit and says, hey, you're a rookie, you're going to come with us. And, you know, they did really well, you know, in the combines, or they did really well, you know, for things like that. And you're like, hey, listen, you know, if we let this guy go, any other team's going to pick him up, and this guy's going to score, I don't know how much for us this year. It's the same thing. So when you have headhunters that go across the country to different universities, look for people that are doing really well in school, that are doing really well, doing all kinds of different programs, that are doing co-ops.
Yeah.
The reason why they put the co-ops together is because they do the transition between work and
Yes.
school, and these guys become stars, real stars. So us as employers, us as brokers and everything, you got to be able to identify if whether or not the person that you're hiring has something different than from anyone else. And it comes back to what Etienne was saying, visibility and masses. So the more you have candidates, the more you have people that come see you constantly, you're going to be able to filter out the garbage. You're going to be able to see, oh, wow, this is good. That's no good. But if you only have 2 or 3 people trickling in, it becomes very difficult to be able to
Absolutely.
assess it. And that's the challenge that we're facing.
So we're gonna
I
go
like
with
that.
One last question, guys. Great point, Mike. So we're gonna go.
That
with,
was good, Mike.
It was a very good.
That was really
It
good.
was very good. So we have Lewis here that was saying, what should a team leader provide to his team aside from the basic teachings, teaching you how to farm, the scripts, and so on and so forth. So obviously, we're talking more on the real estate side now. So what should a team leader teach to his team, synergy wise, and so on, except for the basics? What is the most important?
See, like the basics that seems very transactional.
Yeah.
And I don't think that should be the basics. The basics should be to understand what's how the team wants, or how the team leader wants to showcase as a person, as in the team, as a value that they can actually bring to whoever are their clients, before even talking about the technical and what is the basics of real estate, or how to make a sell, how to make a pitch, and how to script, or how to do a cold call. For me, this is almost like anybody can do that, you know. And that's why I do believe that there's a lot of teams, or there might be a lot of teams that won't be able to grow to that extent, because they're so focused into that. And it is because, again, it's an industry that's very focused on transactional. But if you focus like you when you get your clients, or you try to get you aspire to get a client, while you build a relationship with them, Well, you should kind of do the same thing with whatever is your team. You said it earlier in the French version. You need to understand why is that a good fit? Why that person is a good match with whatever. What that's the fact that oh, I know that Julian is draws or and then is an artist. You should know this.
Yeah.
And this is what will build actually fusion or a synergy within the team and build whatever it is. I was talking to one of my friend who's a dentist, and she's trying to. Well, she has her team seems to be very good and etc. And she said that one of the reasons why she managed to keep because of COVID, dentist industries was very hard because of the transmission of COVID, and it's been a very hard industry. And what she managed to say is that to create is kind of an environment where they know the hobbies of everybody. They know exactly what they like. They know and they build team building activities around those activities, around those hobbies. They build whatever it is towards whatever to keep their staff
Yeah.
into an industry that's very competitive, where they get emails from headhunters all the time, so like, hey, this clinic wants to hire you.
Yep.
But they're not even looking at them because they're like, well, I'm good here. Why would I need to change?
Well, excuse me, I'm going to say something. Something that I've done here with a lot of employees that work here is I try to every now and then have a little small talk or conversation when I'm walking in the hallway. And the reason why I do that is because I try to get to know who they are, like what they do. Like, I'm not going to name names on the air, but like we have somebody here that does balloons. And she does balloons, like she does arches and she does like that
pretty
kind
dope.
of stuff. And
Very cool stuff.
The funny thing is because I think it's important. The reason why it's important is because there's a lot of industries right now where you can have a business within a business. So what happens is that we do a lot of events. We do that kind of stuff. Instead of us going outside and getting people on the outside that we pay to do that, when we have people on the inside that can do the same, then they can earn money with their side business doing the business within the business. So it's from within. That also plays into culture.
It does.
It's getting to know the people that are working with you, that are working for you, and see how they can implement whatever they do on the side or whatever it is. So it could be from within, because then they start to have an interest too. Because when we're doing events, I don't know how often we do them because we do events all the time, but I'm saying when we're doing events and we're hiring people talented from within that do something different other than what we do, that's a talent that they hold, and they're able to earn money from that. That's another plus for you to be able to keep people. That's another plus for you to push that culture. That's another plus for them to promote that to other people to say, hey, listen, you're not only doing this, that other thing that you do, they're probably interested in that too.
Yes.
And that could also be a set off for that as well. So I think that when we're talking about brokers, understanding who you're with, who you have, you might hire a broker that's really good at marketing, a broker that's really good at drawing, a broker that's really good at doing, I don't know, emails or whatever it is. They have a certain talent that's not necessarily related to selling houses, but something that can help your team that you're building. And I think that's just a plus. And if you're able to implement that and at the same time follow through with what they like, we're winning.
Great advice. Great advice. Thank you, Mike. You're on a roll. I love it. So you can wear now your Dita and head out. We thank you all for watching, and we will see you all tomorrow. Thank you.